The first video posted to my channel was a review of A Visitor's Guide to the Rainy City, a doomed fantasy metropolis at the end of the world where the rains never stop. The book is a system-neutral urban setting. It is quaint, quirky and very creative, well written and well produced. I ran a short campaign in the city, and it was great fun as the party of ne'er-do-wells attempted to navigate their way through the treacherous and bizarre city. This week I have a review of two supplemental magazines called Flott's Miscellany, and also news of an upcoming Kickstarter for Lesser Key of the Sandestin, a new series of RPG zines from Superhero Necromancer Press, showcasing several curious and distinct areas of life and lore in the Rainy City, but more on that later. These pamphlets are companions to the Visitor's Guide to the Rainy City. They offer a collection of random charts, name lists, unusual facts, plot hooks and lists about life in the Rainy City. Like the main setting book, the information here is system neutral, and is a collection of creative and eccentric ideas which can be elaborated upon in-game. The writing is succinct, evocative but brief, just enough to get the imagination running. Volume 1 and 2 are 48 pages and 36 pages respectively, in good quality staple-bound A5 pamphlets. This, incidentally, is the perfect size for such a product, far superior to the letter-sized book. Each pamphlet has some tables, lists of names and rumours applicable to the whole city, and then sections for each of the city's districts. The district sections have lists of names, buildings, shops and pubs, and some district-specific plot hooks or rumours which can be elaborated upon to generate adventure ideas. Then various facts and curiosities specific to the district in question. There's a fair amount of black and white line art produced by Bill Spitmer, which is cohesive and well suited to the tone of the booklets, and very recognisable as being of the Rainy City. The best way to use the book would be to flip to a random page or select a random item from the appropriate district and elaborate upon that idea into a plot hook or whole adventure. Flavour is always preferred over game rules. There is no indication of game balance, expected level or system here. Everything is quite descriptive and up to the DM to adapt to his game. The last pages of each pamphlet are reserved for a plot hook for a thematic adventure. These are short narratives which can be used to introduce the scenario to the players, followed by some key bits of information that can help create an adventure fitting of the setting. These adventure hooks may not be particularly fantastical, but they do a good job of defining the tone of the setting, one that favours scoundrels and thieves rather than valiant heroes. The cast of characters involved are certainly fantastic though. Like A Visitor's Guide, Flott's Miscellanies have a quaint charm to them. One cannot help but be absorbed in the peculiar world of the Rainy City. The succinct writing conjures strange characters and scenes, and sparks the imagination. There are opportunities for the DM to almost collaborate with the author, where an idea is put forward, such as an Eve troll monster, or a cauldron of heads magic item, or iambic pentacular's watery double spell, and the DM can devise how this feature will fit into his game. This is the style of play that appeals to me, fuel for creativity rather than a dictation of how something should be done, though this may not be suitable for more restrictive systems such as Pathfinder or 5th edition. While there are many great ideas in the supplements, there are a few duds here and there, ideas which are vivid but suitable only as descriptive flavour rather than the foundation for adventure. For example, coming across a gull drinking tea, or the mere smell of brimstone, are unlikely to motivate players towards adventure. On some rare occasions, some of the ideas are either a little too bland or too restrictive to be of use. There are some items which are imaginative but may be difficult to gamify. For example, Solon's accessory fetish, Grancus's roiling audacity, although understanding the meaning of the spells would be the first hurdle. Again, the spells and magic items seem more suitable to old school systems, as fitting them into a restrictive systems such as Pathfinder or 5th edition would be a bit of a challenge. But there are many of the items which are great, and do not have to be used only in the Rainy City. These lists can help out a DM running adventures in other urban settings. Not everything here revolves around rain, though much of it does. One disappointment, in fact, is the weather table, which describes several small increments of rain and wind, unlikely to make much difference to gameplay. As rain is such an important feature of the setting, I would expect a little more from a weather table. I think it would be a good idea to combine the Rainy City with some of the rule procedures set out in City State of the Invincible Overlord, using the main setting book and these pamphlets to help generate quarter-specific random encounters. There's plenty of information within the district descriptions to help generate some great random encounter tables. While some may wish for this task to have been completed within the books, it is quite a fun exercise to complete yourself, and helps to create your own version of the Rainy City. My impression of the setting is that it is quaint and whimsical, not edgy or dark. The strange collection of characters and plot hooks suggests a setting which is generally light-hearted, full of scoundrels and ne'er-do-wells, rather than criminals and murderers. My personal version of the city is a little darker and grittier, but the whimsy and comedy is inescapable, and provides some comic relief from what could otherwise be an oppressive setting. Speaking of scoundrels and thieves, the setting seems to favour such characters, and theft seems to be one of the prime motivators for adventure in this city. There are lots of opportunities to steal things. This suggests a certain genre, and as would be expected with most urban campaigns, suggests a focus on stealth, heist planning, subterfuge, and role-playing. There are plenty of places ripe for traditional dungeon delving, specifically the Sunken Wizards Academy in the Mids, but I think most of the material is geared towards role-playing encounters and stealing things. As mentioned previously, most of the entries here are not really ready for the table straight away. Some assembly is required, but the material designed for the Tower Cliffs seems to be the easiest to gamify. Lists of interesting spells and magic items and adventure sites. Breaking into wizards' towers to steal loot also seems to be closest to the expected gameplay of original D&D, so it may be the easiest place to start. Pamphlet 2 is only 36 pages compared to Pamphlet 1's 48 pages, but I would say that there is more gameable content in the second pamphlet. Plot hooks, events and monsters, a particular highlight being the oozes in Puddings of the City, as well as the section The Lost Treasure of Skeleton Jane Quelch, which hints at a plot suitable for a whole campaign. Overall, the contents are great for generating ideas, but less suitable directly at the table. Not only because you will need to generate rules to fit your system on the fly, but also because the setting is not standard fantasy, so you cannot rely on expected tropes. The tone of the product is great, whimsical and in places absurd, but somehow it all works together and is believable. Even if you don't use the Rainy City setting, there is plenty of stuff here that can be used in your home campaign, whether it is an urban setting or not. Plunder these pamphlets for inspiration and you'll not be disappointed. The latest release from Superhero Necromancer Press are the upcoming Lesser Key of the Sandestin zines. These magazines showcase several curious and distinct areas of life and lore in the Rainy City. I've not been sponsored to promote this Kickstarter, I'm just such a big fan of this setting. Unlike other Rainy City products, the zines are designed to be used with Into the Odd, though there is plenty of system-neutral content included as well. I imagine the contents will be very easy to convert to other old-school systems. The first is A Puppet Hand's Guide to the Rainy City by Andrew D. Devaney and Bill Spitmer. Apologies for any mispronunciations. A 16-page magazine which explores the deceitful art of street puppetry. There are rules for creating puppet hand characters and their primary puppets for any Into the Odd game. The different kinds of puppets found in the Rainy City, the famous, infamous, or notorious puppet hands that use them, and whispers, gossips, and hooks heard throughout the city about puppet hand activities. The second is The Restless Dead, True Tales of Ghasts and Geists in the Rainy City by William Wandless and Bill Spitmer. a 24-page zine that will highlight several haunting stories of the many ghostly spirits still inhabiting the damp metropolis. Descriptions and into the odd stat blocks for 10 haunting, forlorn, or sinister ghosts whispered about in the city, including the curious tale of Beza Bream, the slimy fate of Jaunty Jenks, and the final performance of Lord Orbiton and his audacious players. The Kickstarter is already live and has already been fully funded and will run until February the 27th, so act quickly and grab them. The link is in the description. If you've enjoyed this video, please leave a like or a comment. You can find more information in the description below. And as always, thanks for watching.